Have you ever looked at your old self and thought, how did I stop being that person without even noticing? It feels almost unreal when you realize this. One day you wake up and you are not reacting the way you used to. You don't chase the same things. You don't feel the same fears. You don't carry the same weight. And you cannot remember when exactly the shift happened. It's like something inside you quietly grew, like a seed breaking through the soil without making a sound. That is what a spiritual awakening feels like. It doesn't always happen with lightning and thunder. Sometimes it happens in a soft, silent way, and you only notice a difference when you look back. Before awakening, life feels like a fast train where you never stop to ask where you're going. You just keep moving, pleasing people, chasing goals, keeping yourself busy, comparing yourself to others, controlling everything, and running from emotions. But when awakening touches you, even slightly, you begin to slow down. You start seeing things you ignored for years. You start hearing your own thoughts. You start feeling emotions you used to bury. And you begin to let go of things without even trying. Not because someone told you to, not because you forced yourself to change, but because your soul finally got tired of carrying things that never belonged to you. One of the first things you quietly quit is trying to please everyone. Think back to your old self. You said yes when you wanted to say no. You acted fine when you were hurting. You tried to be the calm one, the polite one, the safe one. You kept other people comfortable even when you were uncomfortable. You walked on eggshells with some people because you were afraid of disappointing them. You smiled even when your heart was tired. You did things you didn't want to do just to avoid being judged or rejected. You didn't even realize how much of your identity was shaped by other people's expectations. But awakening changes that. One day something inside you says, enough. One day you get tired of shrinking yourself. One day you stop bending your soul just to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. You start saying no without shaking. You begin to speak your truth in a simple, calm way. You stop apologizing for choosing yourself. You stop explaining your decisions to people who never tried to understand you anyway. And you realize something powerful. The people who truly care about you never needed you to be perfect. They only needed you to be honest. The moment you choose your peace over their approval, your life becomes lighter. Your awakening reminds you that you were not born to be a people pleaser. You were born to be real. The next thing you quietly quit is needing constant distractions. Before awakening, silence felt uncomfortable. Being alone with your thoughts made you restless. So you filled every moment with something. You scrolled through your phone even when nothing new was there. You played music or videos in the background, not because you enjoyed them, but because you couldn't bear the empty space. You checked notifications like you were checking your pulse. If you had a free moment, you looked for something to feed your mind because stillness didn't feel safe. But slowly, without planning it, you begin to choose quiet. You go for a walk with no earphones. You sit in your room without turning anything on. You watch the sky. You notice the sound of the wind. You drink tea slowly instead of gulping it while doing 10 other things. You start taking deep breaths without telling yourself to. And for the first time in a long time, you feel present. You feel yourself coming back into your body. You realize that silence is not empty. Silence is full of answers. You begin to understand that you were never afraid of silence. You were afraid of meeting yourself. And now that you are no longer running, stillness becomes a warm place instead of a scary one. Your awakening teaches you that peace doesn't come from noise. Peace comes from being here, in this moment, with no escape. And it feels good. Another thing you quietly quit is judging yourself and others. Before awakening, judgments came like automatic thoughts. You judged your face, your body, your failures, your timing, your past. You told yourself you were not enough, not fast enough, not successful enough, not strong enough. You compared yourself to people who were not even living the same life as you. And without meaning to, you judged others too. You judged their choices, their mistakes, their behaviors, their speed. You did it because society trains us to compare. You did it because you believed there was only one way to be good, one way to be successful, one way to be worthy. But awakening softens your heart. You begin to see yourself with kinder eyes. You catch your own thoughts when they become harsh. Instead of saying, I'm so stupid, you say, I'm doing my best. Instead of judging your past, you understand that you were surviving with the tools you had. And without even realizing it, this compassion spreads to others too. You stop judging people for their mistakes because you know how hard it is to be human. You stop expecting perfection from others because you finally stopped expecting it from yourself. You look at people and see their pain instead of their flaws. You see their struggles instead of their failures. And this gentle way of seeing is a sign that your soul is healing. Another big thing you quietly quit is forcing life to go your way. Before awakening, you tried to control everything. You had a timeline for your success, a picture for your future, a plan for how people should behave and how things should unfold. And when life didn't follow your script, you panicked. You blamed yourself. You chased answers. You tried harder, pushed harder, stressed harder. You believed that if you didn't control everything, everything would fall apart. It was exhausting. But awakening teaches you something life-changing. It shows you that control is often just fear pretending to be strength. You start letting go. You stop forcing people to stay. You stop trying to change things that don't want to change. You begin to trust the timing of your life. You take action, but you don't cling to outcomes. You follow your heart, but you don't beg life to obey your plans. You understand that things fall apart sometimes because better things need space to enter. And you start to flow instead of fight. You allow instead of force. You breathe instead of panic. Your awakening teaches you that surrender is not giving up. Surrender is trusting that life knows what you need, even when you don't. Another thing you quietly quit is chasing validation. Before awakening, other people's approval felt like oxygen. A compliment could lift your whole mood. A criticism could break your whole spirit. You worried about what people thought of you. You edited your personality depending on who was around you. You tried to be liked, accepted, praised. You needed others to tell you were enough because you didn't believe it yourself. But after awakening, you feel a shift. You no longer chase likes, attention, or applause. You no longer post things online just to feel seen. You no longer dress or behave for approval. You begin to validate yourself. You tell yourself, I'm proud of you. You value your effort even if no one notices it. You grow quietly. You heal quietly. You glow quietly. Your confidence becomes calm instead of loud. You finally understand that the right people will see your worth without you having to shout for it. And that is a powerful freedom. One more thing you quietly quit is running from your emotions. Before awakening, you pushed down your sadness. You hid your fear. You ignored your loneliness. You forced yourself to smile when you were hurting. You thought being strong meant don't feel anything. You distracted yourself every time your emotions came up. But ignoring emotions doesn't make them disappear. It only buries them deeper. After awakening, you begin to feel again. You cry without shame. You sit with your pain instead of escaping it. You let yourself get angry, not to hurt anyone, but to understand why something hurt you. You let your emotions move through you. You realize that emotions are not dangerous. They are messages from your soul. They are your body saying, please listen to me. And when you finally give them space, you become stronger, not weaker. You stop being afraid of what you feel. You stop being scared of breaking. And this emotional honesty becomes one of your biggest strengths. By the time you reach this point, you realize something important. You did not give up these things because you were trying to be spiritual. You gave them up because you outgrew them. They simply could not stay with the person you are becoming. Your awakening is not about becoming a new person. It is about coming back to the real you, the you beneath the fear, beneath the noise, beneath the conditioning. You return to your truth. So if you have slowly quit people-pleasing, distractions, judgment, control, validation, and emotional avoidance, know this, nothing is wrong with you. You are not lost. You are awakening. And the biggest transformations often happen quietly, softly, gently, inside your heart when no one is watching. You are doing better than you think. And one day, you will look back and realize how far you have come, and you won't even remember the moment it all started. But you will know that your soul was guiding you the whole time.